Hi, Elissa. I want to thank you again for participating in this interview, and let's get right to it. Okay,
Sure. Thanks,
great.
Marsha.
Sure. So first question is, in what religious tradition or denomination did you grow up?
I grew up as a secular Jew. There was no religion in the household, but there was a lot of tradition and culture. And also growing up in a multicultural home, my father was from the Philippines. I had a very rich background, but my dad was very much in line with the way my mother thought, her values. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say what that is, but I certainly do feel Jewish.
Okay.
I went to Workman Circle Camp as a kid.
Okay. Thank you. So with regard to Judaism, how do you identify now?
I'm pretty much the same way, very much secular Jew.
Okay. What would you describe as Jewish values?
That is a difficult question for me because I assume that the values that I grew up with are Jewish, even though they've never been stated. But the biggest thing in my family was equality and helping other people. Making sure people had what was needed. And my parents were union organizers. So whether those are Jewish values or not, I think in part they are, Ikamolim and all that. And so I feel very identified that way.
Okay. Any other things that you might think of as Jewish values or that have influenced you?
Besides food?
Including food? I don't know.
Well, with my mother's mother, my Jewish grandmother at home, there was always this wonderful Jewish cooking, as well as Filipino cooking.
Okay.
And then there was American cooking. I'm sorry about this phone call.
It's okay.
Oh,
Call from located tone.
You want to stop? Okay, so if you think back to when you decided to become a dance movement therapist, do you think your Jewish upbringing and its values as you define them contributed to your making this professional choice? And if so, how?
well, I suspect so, even though that was not a conscious thought on my part. I had always been looking for something to do with my dance. I danced professionally for a while, and I came to New York to be a professional dancer, but my mother had died, and I was probably in a clinical depression. I was a studio dancer, and so I was thinking about going to college. And that's when I first heard about someone, about Marion Chase, because I had asked about someone combining psychology with dance. I was intrigued when I was teaching children about the way children learned and the differences in learning styles and the way they would approach the material. So I was very curious about that. And I think I loved working with the patients in the hospital. I did have a private practice, but that was not as satisfying as working in the hospital. There's something about bringing life to people that that just thrills me. I feel that in my teaching also, that my goal in teaching is not just the principles of dance therapy, but having people use who they are, learn who they are in the service of working with the patients. So whether that is Jewish or not, I don't know, but it certainly is in keeping with my upbringing.
Mhm, mhm.
And I was quite fortunate growing up because I had, since my parents were always on strike, my teachers always had me on scholarship. So they gave to me and I'm giving back, so to speak. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
So
Okay. I
I don't
guess
know.
then the last question. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something else?
I don't know if that answered your question or not. But
Well, it's an answer. It's an answer. And if something else comes to you, then maybe you'll include it in your answer to the last question, and that is, in what way or ways might have your Jewish background and its values influence the direction that you took your contributions to the development of the field in your practice or teaching of dance movement therapy?
when I first after I took Marion Chase's course in 1963, there were a group of like-minded people, Claire, Beth, Sharon, Mimi. We were all active in civil rights. And I think this desire to learn what we were doing and to find out what we were doing and how we were doing it and what to describe it, and the need to I guess this is I guess my curiosity. I don't know how much of that is me and how much of that is Jewish. I mean, certainly there were a lot of political debates going on at home and a lot of books and things like that. But so to find like-minded people and who were interested in the field for very much the same reasons that I was, I think that pulling together, that we've kind of formed a group of like-minded people who felt that an association might be helpful. And I think I just have to say something, that when Clara and I and Martha Davis applied for our grant at Hunter College, we had asked for stipends for minority and low-income people. I think that was a reflection of Claire's and my values, and she certainly came from a secular background and politically involved family also. So the more I think about what we did, the more proud I am of that, frankly. Anyway, so I think those are how our values came into the program, and certainly I've continued on that path. Even when Hunter closed, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting, actually, because I think community is a really big part of also being Jewish, and it didn't occur to me until you were speaking now. I don't think I included that in the original study, but I think that's something to note.
Well, I came from a very, very, I came from two communities, the Jewish side, who were always over, and the Filipino side, who's definitely very communal minded and family oriented. And if I say the Jewish side were books, music, politics, the Filipino side were athletics and food and community. Food too on the Jewish side, but so they kind of meld together for me. You know, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
There is this thing about being human.
Yeah.
you know, these common human values.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I'm going to stop the recording now.
I'm sorry I'm not able. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there.
Well, we miss seeing you in person, but we're very glad that you could be here in this particular way. So thank you again.
You're welcome and thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.